Good morning and welcome to day 3. What drives your life? In the book of Ecclesiastes 4:4, it says, I observe that the basic motive for success is the driving force of envy and jealousy. Everyone's life is driven by something. Most dictionaries define the verb drive to be to guide, to control, or to direct. So whether you are driving a car or a golf ball, you are guiding, controlling, and directing it at that moment. So I ask, what is the driving force in your life? Right now, you may be driven by a problem, a pressure, or a deadline. You may even be driven by a painful memory, a haunting fear, or an unconscious belief. There are hundreds of circumstances, values, and emotions that can drive your life. And here are 5 common ones. Point number 1. Many people are driven by guilt. They spend their entire lives running from regret and hiding their shame. Guilt-driven people are manipulated by memories. They allow their past to control their future. They often unconsciously punish themselves by sabotaging their own successes. We are products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it. God's purpose is not limited by our past. For instance, he turned a murderer named Moses into a leader and a coward named Gideon into a courageous hero. And he can do amazing things with the rest of your life too. God specializes in giving people a fresh start. The Bible says in Psalms 32 verse 1, what happiness for those whose guilt has been forgiven. What relief for those who have confessed their sins and God has cleared their records. The Lord has need of you. That is how come he clears your record and tells you that your past is not what defines you. Now, point number 2. Many people are driven by resentment and anger. They hold on to hurt and never get over them. Instead of releasing their pain through forgiveness, they rehearse it over and over again in their mind. For some resentment-driven people, they clam up and internalize their anger, whilst others too blow up and explode it onto others. Both responses are not healthy and unhelpful. Resentment always hurts you more than it does the person you resent. Whilst your offender has probably forgotten the offense and gone on with life, you continue to stew in pain, perpetuating the past. Listen, those who have hurt you in the past cannot continue to hurt you now unless you hold on to the pain through resentment. Your past is past. Nothing will change it. You are only hurting yourself with bitterness. For your own sake, learn from it and let it go. The Bible says in Job chapter 5 verse 2, to worry yourself to death with resentment will be a foolish and senseless thing to do. That's point number 2. Point number 3, some people or many people are just driven by fear. Whew. Fear that may be as a result of a traumatic experience, unrealistic expectation, growing up in a high controlled home, or even genetically predisposition. Regardless of the cause, fear-driven people often miss great opportunities because they fear to venture out. Instead, they play it safe, avoiding risk and trying to maintain the status quo. Fear is a self-imposed prison that will keep you from becoming what God intends for you to become. Point number 4, many people are driven by materialism. Their desire to acquire becomes the whole goal of their life. This drive is always to want more is based on a misconception that having more will make me more happy, more important, more secure. But all three ideas are untrue. Possessions only provide temporary happiness because things do not change. We eventually get bored with them. And now we want something newer, bigger, better versions. Well, this is a myth. It is a myth that if you get more, you become more important. Your self-worth and your net worth are not the same. Your value is not determined by your valuables. God says the most valuable things in life are not things. The most common myth about money is that having more will make me more secured. It won't. Wealth can be lost instantly. Real security can only be found in that which can never be taken away from you, which is your relationship with God. And point number 5, many people are driven by the need for approval. They allow the expectations of their parents or spouses or children or teachers or friends control their life. Many adults are still trying to earn the approval of unpleasable parents. Some are even driven by peer pressure, always worried about what other people might think. Unfortunately, those who follow the crowd usually get lost in it. See, nothing matters more than knowing God's purpose for your life, and nothing can compensate for not knowing them. Remember that all the other driving forces of your life lead to one end: unused potential, unnecessary stress, and an unfulfilled life. This 40-day journey will show you how to live a purpose-driven life, a life guided, controlled, and designed by God's purposes. Now, there are 5 benefits that you can glean from a purpose-driven life. When you have a purpose-driven life, this is what happens. In knowing your purpose, it gives meaning to your life, and that is point number 1. And point number 2, knowing your purpose simplifies your life. And in point number 3, knowing your purpose focuses your life. Point number 4, knowing your purpose motivates your life. Point number 5, knowing your purpose prepares you for eternity. Now, let's think about our purpose for today. Our point to ponder is: living on purpose is the path to peace. Our verse to remember is Isaiah 26 verse 3, which says, "You, Lord, give perfect peace to those who keep their purpose firm and put their trust in you." The question to consider: what will my family and friends say is the driving force of my life? And what do I want it to be? This has been day 3 of our first 40 days of purposeful living. Remember that you weren't put on earth to be remembered. You were put here on earth to prepare for eternity. This has been day 3. Have a blessed day.